Good morning. My name is Suzanne Prokscha. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm your worship associate for today's service. Today we celebrate fire communion, which is also known as the burning bowl ritual. We will consider our old habits or other burdens in order to acknowledge them, and then we will burn the paper to symbolically release them from our lives. Naming our regrets and burdens is an important part of the ritual. It brings to mind a song for the new year that I've been listening to called Welcome in Another Year, which was written by Zoe Mulford. It has a stanza that reads, "Here come your sorrows and all your old regrets. Every broken promise, every unpaid debt perched on your shoulder, yearning toward the flame. Pour them a glass of whiskey, greet them all by name. Come, we will build up the fire together and welcome in another year by letting the burdens of last year burn." This reading is a poem called In Blackwater Woods by Mary Oliver. Look, the trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light, are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds. And every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I have ever learned in my lifetime leads me back to this. The fires and the black river of loss, whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know. To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes to let it go, to let it go.
Mary Oliver ends that poem with a sentence that feels less like poetry and more like instructions for living. She tells us that in order to live in this world, we must be able to do those three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against our bones, knowing our own life depends on it, and then, when the time comes, to let it go. That final phrase in those instructions is where most of us stumble. Because loving, well, we know how to do that. And holding things close, we are also good at that. But letting go, that's a practice and an art most of us were never taught. A large part of the problem is that we live in a culture that revolves around attachment, that praises holding on to things, holding on to ideas too, holding on to success, ideas of holding on to control, holding on to being right. I want to talk about that for just a second, because I love being right. And it just so happens I am a lot. I can't help it because I'm the oldest born in my family, and I'm also an Aries. Yeah, it comes with the territory, being an Aries, that we're just right. I'm so attached to being right that when I'm wrong, I admit it very quickly and own it completely so that I can be right about being wrong. You know that one, Jack? Yeah. Because that's so much better than it would be to be wrong about being right. To be right about being wrong, yeah. I've got some work to do about letting go on that. We spend so much time and energy holding on to stories about who we are and who we think we have to be. We see letting go of our attachments to success or control or rightness as failures or defects. But the forest that Mary Oliver talks about, we have much to learn there. Look, the trees are turning their bodies into pillars. The long tapers of the cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds, and every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I have ever learned in my lifetime leads me back to this: the fires and the black river of loss, whose other side is salvation. The woods that she speaks about are not sentimental. Leaves fall, branches break, decay feeds new growth. What cannot stay is released, and because of that release, the forest lives on and on. And here we are, facing another trip around the sun. But we are not born anew with the mere changing of a calendar date. We come into the new year carrying so much more than champagne optimism. We carry the brokenness of the world. We carry the brokenness of ourselves. We carry weariness and sadness, and sometimes resentment and disdain. And some of this spiritual and emotional weight comes not from what we are facing now, but what we are still carrying and have carried for so long. Old guilt, old shame, old anger, old fears that once protected us, that now drain us. And these are the things that we might try to let go of, the things we can let become decay to feed that soil for tomorrow, to feed something new. And in this regard, letting go begins not with force, not with a single action, but with attention, with mindfulness, with the quiet courage to notice what we are holding on to without judgment. I'm wrong. I don't have to be right about it. Sometimes I'm just wrong. We're invited to pause and say to ourselves, this is here. This is worry. This is grief. This is the story I keep telling myself. And we're not rushing to try and fix it. We're not pushing it away, just acknowledging it. We're just acknowledging it. Because often the things we cling to are not our enemies. They are messengers. They came to teach us about something, about love, about limits, about loss. And once the lesson has been learned, then we're allowed to set things down. I want to return to that song that we sang. That song that we sang is Rev. Meg Barnhouse wrote that song. She's a UU minister, and she wrote that song. It's a conversation with Julian of Norwich. Julian was this mystic, great teacher. She was born likely around 1342, and she lived into her 70s, which was remarkable for that time. She was an anchoress. That meant that she lived a life of prayer and contemplation. She stayed in a small room attached to a church in Norwich. And though her life was primarily solitary, she was not cut off from the world. People came to her for counsel, wisdom, and spiritual guidance. She lived with suffering, not apart from it. This is the Julian who was holding her hand. She's also the first known woman to write a book in English. The first woman to write a book in English. It was called Revelations of Divine Love. Julian lived in a world marked by plague, poverty, political violence, and profound uncertainty, in case any of that sounds familiar. She knew suffering firsthand. She nearly died herself in her 30s, and in the midst of that illness, she received a series of visions, not explanations for suffering, but assurances of love. She wrestled deeply with the questions that many of us carry. How can the world be so broken if love is real? And she received not an answer, but a promise. In her vision, she received the message, all shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. This is not denial, which we'll be talking about next week, by the way. Julian never says suffering is an illusion. She names sin outright. She names cruelty and pain and sorrow very clearly, but she refuses to believe that that is what is ultimate. She trusts that love is deeper than what we can see. In that song, Julian is not poised at offering us easy reassurance. Instead, she listens as loneliness is named, and disease, and cruelty, and hunger, and shame, and she hears the words, "It's too much, it brought me to my knees." And she doesn't argue. She says, I know. I know. And that is what is part of letting go, allowing ourselves to be honest about what is too much, letting go of the belief that we must be strong all the time, letting go of perfection and choosing to do the best with what we have. Sometimes letting go is very emotional. Sometimes it's very practical. It can look like setting a boundary, saying no, clearing a calendar, decluttering a space, breaking a big swirling worry into smaller, manageable next steps. These are not trivial acts. These are ways of reclaiming our agencies, ways of saying, I matter, this life matters. And Julian reminds us about tenderness. And we need this so much. Do you not know about tenderness, she asks, and friends, and the Spirit? Do we not know about working for peace? Do we not know about a love that never ends? All shall be well does not mean everything will be easy. It means love will not abandon us even when we are brought to our knees. Our fire communion today gives us a way to embody that trust. The ritual does not ask us to forget what we have lived through. It asks us to choose what we will continue to carry and how we'll do it. And it asks us to release what we're ready to release. And when you come up to the fire today, you might release a belief that is no longer serving you, or a fear that has outlived its purpose, or a burden that you were never meant to carry. You might whisper quietly or aloud, I release this. I don't need to carry it anymore. And as you do that, you might imagine Julian beside you, holding your hand, not fixing, not explaining, simply gently and stubbornly saying, all shall be well. Not because the world is not broken, but because love is deeper than brokenness, and not because suffering is not small, but because tenderness is strong. And though we witness injustice in the world, and though our hearts break again and again, we do not have to carry the weight of the world in our muscles and bones. You do not have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. You can let go and find that release and find the resolve and the energy to do the work of being well, because you too shall be well, and letting love be the ultimate source for ourselves and the world. So friends, we're not asking you as we engage this ritual today to forget. We're asking you to transform fear, grief, sorrow, and pain into a pathway of love. I'm just looking at the clock, and I want to pause here to let you know that we're running long. I know sometimes people have brunch plans and all that kind of thing going on, so if you need to watch the clock, please know that we won't judge you if you sneak out during the ritual. In just a minute, Jeremy's going to teach us a simple song that we can sing on repeat during the fire communion ritual. And we invite you to sing or hum along or let the words find you in the places that need ease in your body. But first, a few words about, how we're going to do this. We're going to start with just a moment of silence. During that moment, I want to invite you to seek the places in you that need release. What burdens do you have that might need lightened? What thoughts no longer serve you? After that moment of silence, I'll ring the bell, and then Jeremy's going to teach that song. And after he teaches that song, we're going to kind of keep singing it or humming it or just listening, whatever works for you as we engage the ritual. And the ritual will work this way, that the ushers will start in the back of the sanctuary and release you by row. And you can come up here, and on the short table, there's some special burning paper, not that kind. Some of you know what I'm talking about. You boomers. I know what you did back in the day. Anyway, a special paper that burns really quickly and easily. All that you need to do is put it into the flame, and it will burn. Make sure it stays in the bowl. I think I'm going to lift the lid off, which isn't going to look as pretty, but then you can always put it on in the sides in there, and so we'll stay safe. We're not going to write words on here. What we're going to do is I want you to sit there during this moment of silence. I want you to find the spaces in yourselves that need that release. Think of them. Let that tension move through your body. Let it move through your chest, your shoulders, your arms, into your hands, and into the tips of your fingers. And then when you come up here and you grab your piece of paper, let it transfer right into the fibers of this little paper. After you've released your releasing thing into the flame, we're going to open that door, and then we ask you to go back around through the sunroom to come back in to fill in so that we don't have congestion. So I invite you into a moment of silence, a place of reflection. Oh, I forgot. Folks at home, folks on Zoom, you can do this at home with a little bit of fire that's safe. If you have something you can do it with. You could also do it with a pebble or a rock that you can place somewhere outside later. Let's all take a deep, relaxing breath. And again, don't worry about the words. Think about the feelings that you're working to release.
So the song that I'm going to teach you now is called Loosen, Loosen by Ali Halpert. It's a familiar UU song that's not in any hymnal, but I know a lot of you know it. It's a song in two parts that go together. The first goes like this, so I'll sing it first, and you can sing it after me. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Let's do that one more time. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. That's the first part. The other part, the second part, goes like this. Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? And just to prove a point, loosen, loosen, holy breath at the same time. One, and ready, and go. Loosen, loosen, baby, holy name, will you ease this pain? So the way this is going to work is that we're going to keep that going and keep that going as a chant and keep repeating it. And if you get sick and tired of singing one of those parts, then switch to the other part. And if the person who's sitting next to you is singing the opposite part to what you're singing, then that's great. But that's what's going to happen. We're going to keep this song going, loosen, loosen, baby. Ready? Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and lungs. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't
I think we're running out of paper. If there's no paper, please just offer your words to the fire. Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? I invite you one more time to take a cleansing breath. We've taken an important step of letting go of the things we want to release. We've named them, we've set them to the flame, we've acknowledged them and symbolically released them with intention. This is important work. This is deep and sacred work. But this is just the first step. We're now called upon to put our letting go into practice, which is not nearly as tidy as burning ashless paper over a controlled flame. If only it were. Letting go in real life is often messy and awkward and painful. And just like many of the things we hang on to, it's that same kind of thing, right? But here is the greater truth. You do not have to do it alone. Look around you here and know that you have friends. Know that you have support and companions and gentle reminders of the forgiveness and tenderness that we can all give ourselves and give one another. I want to return to Julian of Norwich. The fuller teaching of her quote is, "Sin is inevitable, and we shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well." That promise of wellness exists in the promise of divine love given endlessly through unrelenting grace, which was the ultimate source for Julian. Beloveds, our faith too is centered on the power of love to bind and heal all and to make all things well. And though we do not make claims to love being only a divine force, we do indeed know it to be ultimate and residing in the spaces between us. May we continue to live our lives fully practicing in the giving and receiving of all of the love this world has to offer, and may we lighten our burdens within ourselves and with one another, that we may truly have more room within ourselves to know love more truly. Amen. For our closing words today, I'm sharing a New Year's blessing adapted from Beth Monholen. In this new year, may we leave behind the weight of unfulfilled resolutions, of unrealized dreams, and of unrealistic expectations. May we unpack the heavy weight of stories that tell us we are unworthy and unlovable. In this new year, may we carry the weight of memory that reminds us of who we are, the weight of spirit that reminds us that we are still becoming. May we carry the wisdom to seek rest and connection, to lean into mutual care. May we carry the knowledge that happiness and success take many shapes, and one of those shapes is purpose. May we carry our purpose lightly, trusting that it changes and evolves and surprises us. May we carry wonder and curiosity alongside it. This year, may we carry space for all our flaws, all our longings, all of our love, remembering that the truly daring adventure of life is not to be better, best, but to show up wholly, authentically, lovingly as ourselves. May we carry these prayers and carry each other into the new year. Happy New Year. Amen.